Good morning, everyone.
Good morning,
So now,
sir.
so now we are going to start the most important thing. त कहाँ स्टार्ट करूँ एक्चुअली रे हमारा पहला गोटे हमार एजुकेशन उपरे जेहेतु टिके मोर इंक्लिनेशन ज़्यादा अच्छे तो एजुकेशन पहला डेफिनेशन स्टार्ट करूँ. एजुकेशन काना कहसी. Education is deliberate and systematic influence exerted by a mature person upon the mature through instruction, discipline, and harmonious development of all the powers of the human being, physical, social, intellectual, aesthetic, and spiritual, through their essential hierarchy bound for their individual and socialization directed towards the union of the educated with its creator as the final end. This is the definition of education I like most. And another thing that I follow a lot, and it is nothing but Newton's first, second, and third law. Newton's first law states that everybody continues in its state of rest or of uniform motion along a straight line, unless it is compelled by some external force to change that state. And second law is nothing but the rate of change of momentum of a body is directly proportional to impressed force and takes place in the direction of the force. And the third law, everyone knows, every action there is an equal and opposite action. So this Newton is my favorite scientist. Another thing that Rutherford is also my favorite scientist, and he basically discovered a proton. You know what is proton?
No idea, sir.
Okay, so here I am impressed with his experiment, and his experiments tells us about like this. Rutherford bombarded a thin sheet of gold foil with alpha particles, which are often from a radioactive element, and a screen coated zinc sulfide is placed behind the gold foil to observe the radiation. And in this experiment, what he observed is that most of the alpha particles they pass through the gold foil and without any kind of deviation, and some of the alpha particles they passed, they just deflected with some angle, and a very few number of alpha particles, nearly about 1 in 20,000. These alpha particles, very few number of alpha particles, they retrace their original path, making an angle of 180 degree. In this way, he basically discovered proton. What he discovered? Proton. How the proton is discovered, and he gave his theory in this way. As the most of the alpha particles are getting, passing through the gold foil, so he concluded that most part of the atoms is nothing but there is empty space, and whole mass of the atom is concentrated in a very smaller part of the region. So he stated this smaller part as nucleus, and it contains whole mass of the nucleus, and there is two kind of particles it contains. The first one is proton and the second one is neutron. Proton